Hello everyone. Welcome. The topic of today's lesson is how to achieve the government we want. In the previous two lessons we saw that it's important to start developing a government plan through workshops. So, as we discussed in the previous lessons, we talked about the government we have, the government we want, and now in the workshop we will work on how to achieve the government we want. What does it mean? Let's start from the recommendations form we created for the government we want and move towards the government transition. So, as you can see, in the next slide, notice that project management needs to exist in the tripartite triadic matrix. What does that mean? It means that we need to work with the leaders starting to govern the municipality. What does that mean? Let's work on the leaders that are leaders related to the market, which are the companies and commerce, leaders related to organized civil society, and leaders related to the government itself. So look at the three leaderships, folks: the market, civil society, and the government. These leaders need to be involved in the government planning to boost project initiatives. So, we will have there the leaders related to the popular segments. What are the popular segments? They are the leaders we have associated with the community. We have leaders from NGOs, hospitals, schools. Look here, institutions, foundations. See the importance. Business segments, which are segments representing the sectors. From which sectors? Automotive, plastic parts. And then we also have the technical and professional segments, which are the representatives related to the professional associations. Doctors, engineers, lawyers, merchants, and research professionals. All these people will work together on the development of the government plan. So, what's going to happen? Starting to govern the municipality, we will establish among them who has immediate and proven potential to be appointed as secretaries in our government. In the government transition phase, we have those who collaborated and coordinated the government transition. Some of them will indeed work with us in the secretariats. So, within this work that we are going to develop, we have several projects to follow up on. This includes the selection of the government secretaries, the planning for the 4-year multi-annual program, the results of the workshop for guidance, planning, and evaluation of the macro projects for public policies. Pay attention, folks, to the selection of each secretary, the selection of the government secretaries, the planning for the 4-year multi-annual program, the results of the workshop for guidance, planning, and evaluation of the macro projects for public policies. Pay attention, folks, to the selection of each secretary. We will have the immediate action planning of the government. These are the more immediate projects that we will present for approval and implementation at this stage already, folks. Delegating authority to these secretaries to do their jobs, because now they already know a bit about the budget, the multi-annual budget. So from there, we move on to the Public Service Quality Program. What does the Public Service Quality Program mean? It means to plan, educate, do, check, and act. So within this context, which is already in the implementation of the project, in the implementation of the government, happening in the field, at this point, folks, we have already moved past the workshops. We are already implementing in the field, monitoring the actions of all the projects, right? Evaluating the PDCA and the aspects of the actions. What are the aspects of the actions? And they happen in the planning. The action plan itself. What does the action plan itself mean? It means that everything the government has to do and can do is sustainable with its own resources. You won't need to borrow money or anything. And these are related to the government's immediate action plan, the most immediate needs of the population. Then we have the plan of needs or demands. It's the one where the government will seek loans, investments. Then we have a dangerous situation, which is debt. Then, very rarely, some of them manage to pay it back, folks. It's complicated. And then there's the plan for complaints or appeals. It's something that drags on from government to government. A lot of things were started and not finished. Public debts and court orders. Guys, this phase is complicated. We've been inheriting all of this for years, folks. We'll wrap up this lesson here and now. We're going to work on recapping some things. Here's the thing. All this part of developing a government plan, the formulation of the government plan, happened around three themes: the government we have, the government we want, and how to get the government we want. We carried out a survey to diagnose the problems. We assessed the cause and root of the problems, the popularity of the ruler. Then we assessed how to present a government philosophy, the elaboration of the government plan. We made the recommendation forms. Look at how many beautiful things we did. Then we entered the government transition, starting to govern the municipality. We learned about the most immediate needs. We learned about the budget that was available. Then we moved on to operations in the field, already outside the workshop, related to those of monitoring actions in the field. So we'll stop here. We really appreciate your attention. And just so you know, the topic of the next lesson, folks, is the principles of public administration. Thank you very much for your attention. Stay with us.